We got earnings season kicking off at the end of this week, really starting to heat up next week. What is something you're going to be watching this earnings season?
Well, I'm really curious as to how the tariffs and the trade war with China are going to play into earnings of various companies, and even broader than that, just basic economic things. For instance, Ford management has already come out and said we're going to lose $1 billion because of this. And
Ford Motor?
Ford Motor, yeah. That was a couple of weeks ago, I think they said that. But I'm interested to see how different types of companies and management might speak to it, how it affects their margins, how it affects their costs of inputs. Companies like Facebook or Google or Alphabet or Netflix, probably not too much because they don't really deal in physical goods, but companies like Apple, for instance, a lot of their parts are made over in China, and so how's that going to affect their margins and what that might happen? This quarter might be a little too early to really start looking at this, except for maybe what management has to say going forward, because the $200 billion of tariff of goods being taxed now just only recently rolled out.
So in terms of the tariffs, like I'm trying to think of what gets you. Do you expect you could hear something on a conference call or it comes out in an earnings announcement that makes you go, whoa, I didn't know it was going to affect you that much. I'm now out on this stock? Or does it make you go, all right, now I just need to adjust my expectations?
More the latter. The economy and the businesses are so tied together. Take just-in-time inventory, which so many retailers now use, pioneered by Dell, and I just recently learned came about because the trucking industry was deregulated, so they could ship things more easily. But now almost everybody does just-in-time inventory. How is that going to be affected by the tariffs? How are the ports on the West Coast going to be affected by the tariffs? How are the truckers and the rail companies that move those goods inland going to be affected by the tariffs? It plays into so many different parts of business and the economy that you could be listening to a conference call from somebody you think nothing's going to hurt this company, and they say, well, our costs are going up 2% this next year because of the tariffs. And whoa, that would surprise me because I might not have realized that. But I don't think because we're long-term investors here, I don't think that's going to make me think I need to get out of the stock. I need to get out of the investment. Companies will adjust. It's going to be painful, but companies have to adjust for all kinds of things all the time. And this is just one more headache that they have to adjust to.